What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one we have Poland is a powerhouse in the making. Before we dive into this video, if you guys happen to enjoy it, please don't forget to subscribe, give a video a thumbs up, and let's see what kind of powerhouse Poland is becoming.
Poland is on a mission to become Europe's arsenal. Its most recent shopping spree includes over 1,300 Abrams and K2 Panther tanks, 1,400 infantry fighting vehicles, nearly 700 self-propelled howitzers, 486 HIMARS, 218 Chanmo launchers, over 100 jet fighters, 96 Apache helicopters, 8 Patriot batteries, as well as frigates and submarines.
And I feel like we've seen these numbers in multiple videos talking about Poland like beefing up their military, spending around 4% GDP, and trying to get that to 5% GDP, which is mind blowing. But they're ordering all the weaponry. They're ordering all the aircraft, all the tanks, all the everything. They're trying to build their active army personnel, I believe, to 300,000. So yeah, Poland is definitely a powerhouse in the making, and if they keep buying like this and they do get to 300,000, we'll be the most powerful army in Europe.
Is also in line to bring its defense budget to 4% of its GDP and double its military forces to 300,000 personnel. Slowly but surely, Poland is emerging as a military hegemony in Eastern Europe. And frankly, it has to. Sitting along Europe's geopolitical highway, Poland is the fulcrum over which the continental balance of power dangles. Under American auspices, Poland has come to form an outpost on the frontier of Russian influence. Now, with the war in Ukraine, anxiety is at an all-time high in the vicinity. Poland looks to fill that power vacuum by overhauling its armaments. But does Poland have what it takes to shape itself into a military power? Will Warsaw be able to foot the bill at a time when much of Europe is going through a recession? Centuries ago, Poland was one of the most vigorous powerhouses of Europe. So, will the white-tailed eagle soar again, or will its wings be clipped?
I think that eagle is gonna soar. I think that eagle is gonna soar, Poland. From the videos I've seen, that eagle's gonna soar.
Europe's power hierarchy is changing. Poland is projected to overtake the United Kingdom in wealth by 2030. A senior US Army official stationed in Europe recently called Poland our most important partner in continental Europe. American tech giants like Google, Meta, Intel, and Amazon agree. In the last few years, they've invested millions in Polish technology. And when you combine this influx of funding with the country's lower cost of living, it all makes sense. The American commercial real estate sector is buckling. A collapse could send shockwaves throughout the economy. The effects would trickle down to real estate investors in a climate where experts are calling traditionally conservative investments like bonds useless as a hedge due to their high correlation to the stock market. As a result, Bloomberg reports families worth over $500 million are changing their strategies, looking to other investments beyond real estate, with other areas of interest being collectibles, with the greatest allocations to art.
Dang, he said families over $500 million is legit. Just so impossible for me to think about families that are over worth $500 million. You're so freaking rich, like $500 million. Anyways, they're really it seems like they're pulling kind of investments from the real estate market, as they can see that market falling here in the future, and they're putting into different areas of investment that have more upside, I guess, coming soon. And then you see a lot of Americans also investing into Poland, a country where the people are getting a good amount of money, good GDP per capita with a low cost of living, and you can understand why they're predicted to pass the UK's economy by 2030.
Fortunately, these markets are no longer exclusive to the ultra-wealthy. Our sponsors at Masterworks have acquired over three.
We are going to skip the sponsor, y'all.
Access right now at the link below. Poland's strategic outlook is shaped by its geographic precariousness. Situated on the North European plain, its open frontiers exposed its inner core to encroachments from Austrians, Prussians, Russians, and Ottomans. Historically, this meant Poland's borders were frequently changed. The last major revision occurred following World War II, when Joseph Stalin annexed the country's eastern portion to the Soviet Union while granting conquered German territories in the north and west, effectively moving the country 200 kilometers westward. Nowadays, Poland's only effective geographic anchor is the Vistula River, but this is little use given that the river bisects its modern territories down the middle. Ergo, Warsaw cannot rely on geographic fortifications, and in the modern context, this means it must build deterrents and form alliances to balance against Russia,
which I think
something
they have,
it has pursued.
Definitely have built the deterrents and formed the alliances and put into place. They're part of NATO. You have so many different countries that I think, even outside of being a part of NATO, outside of being that, I guess, country that if Russia invaded, right, Europe, it seems like would come just for self-preservation purposes. Yeah, everybody's got a vested interest in Russia not succeeding. The U.S. doesn't want Russia to become more powerful or gain more territory. The rest of the countries in Europe, I'm sure, would see if Russia were to invade Poland and succeed, they wouldn't want to. They would start thinking like, I'm next. What's gonna stop them from coming for us next? So they would all definitely come together, I feel like, to defeat Russia in that situation and in that scenario. And then, I mean, to be honest, we don't even know if Russia can get past Ukraine at this point. They've taken a lot of losses. They've become weakened. We don't know.
Via EU and NATO integration. In recent years, however, Poland has sought to redouble its strength not only through integration, but through enhancing its own capabilities. In 2021, a drop of classified government information to the press claimed that recent military exercises indicated Poland would lose a war to Russia within 5 days, forming the pretext of increased military spending. To this end, Poland has sought to become a geopolitical pivot, increasing its regional influence by reorienting Eastern Europe along a north-south axis and promoting infrastructures like highways, railways, LNG terminals, and pipeline infrastructure. This includes projects like the Three Seas Initiative, a revival of the interwar intermarium concept. In this, Warsaw has been in step lock with Washington, as demonstrated by its opposition to Russian-German projects like Nord Stream 2. Furthermore, Poland has sought to align national defense policies within the Visegrad Group, a bloc formed in 1991 with Poland, Hungary, Czechia, and Slovakia as its members. This has involved deepening defense cooperation, including joint exercises and creating a joint battle group. Following Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, things kicked into an even higher gear. The Polish parliament passed the Homeland Defense Act, which, among other measures, boosts the defense budget, expands personnel numbers, and enhances training and recruitment. Though the bill expands military spending from 2.4 to 3% of GDP, Poland's Prime Minister has since stated that Warsaw aims to raise spending to 4%, placing it well above the NATO base target of 2%. Such a spending...
And I've heard, I guess in other videos, I've heard a lot of videos 4%, but I heard in a lot of videos they were pushing to try to get it to 5%. But that could be wrong. Like I said, I've heard 4% in some, 5% in others. So in the end, I don't know what the exact percentage Poland wants percentage of their GDP they want to spend on defense measures. But right now, I do know they're on a spending spree, buying a lot of modern equipment.
Burden will be onerous on Polish taxpayers. But such an outlay is required to boost its forces from 115,000 professionals and 32,000 in the territorial defense forces to a total force of 300,000 by 2035. If implemented, it would place Poland's military as the third largest in NATO and the largest on the European continent.
That's wild.
These personnel increases will be accompanied by new military hardware. In September 2022, the PGZ, Poland's state-funded defense group, signed a memorandum of understanding with Hanwha Defense, a South Korean chaebol and the country's largest defense contractor. The deal includes up to 1,000 K2 Black Panther main battle tanks, 672 K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzers, and 48 FA-50 light combat aircraft. Altogether, the deal could be valued at $15 billion, making it South Korea's biggest arms deal while diversifying Warshaw's military suppliers away from Washington. Yet, this is not to the exclusion of American arms imports. Poland has signed agreements worth $6 billion to obtain 250 upgraded Abrams main battle tanks and a host of other equipment. This was followed in February 2023 when Washington approved a deal to deliver 18 HIMARS systems along with ammunition and 468 HIMARS launcher module kits, systems that have been used to great effect in Ukraine against Russian ammo dumps, logistic hubs, and military infrastructure. Meanwhile, in the air, the Shield of Poland initiative seeks to strengthen Polish capabilities. Included is the $13 billion NAREW program, which aims to produce multiple next-generation air defense systems such as SHORAD-class units equipped with CAM missiles. Additionally, the plan is expected to include 8 Patriot systems, with 2 already delivered. Such measures echo the tactics used in Ukraine, where air defense systems have allowed Kiev to contest the airspace with the superior Russian Air Force. All up, Poland's ties with Washington, its role within regional groupings, and its status as a NATO frontier outpost could allow it to gather extra weight within the European balance of power. But there's more to the story. Military strength is not only coercive but persuasive. Warshaw's frontier mentality may have endeared it to offshore security to the United States. But on the continent, the same traits that make Poland a NATO asset also make it an EU liability. For example, Brussels has recently raised concern within the European Court of Justice that Poland's disciplinary system for judges is incompatible with EU law. While Warsaw initially sought to oppose
What's the difference with Poland's disciplinary actions of judges and the EU's disciplinary actions? I would love if anybody could talk about that one in the comment section and figure that one out for me. I would love to hear the differences between the two.
Compatible with EU law. While Warsaw initially sought to oppose Brussels' efforts to implement change, financial pressures, including fines totaling more than $300 million by December 2022, eventually caused Poland to accept legal reforms. Beyond this, European states have expressed more general concerns over civil liberties and other rule of law issues. So while Poland's arms buildup may boost its military power, its soft power is lacking. Warsaw is incapable of shaping the narrative. Its government is consistently vilified in Western media outlets. But perhaps even more problematic is the economics of Poland's military spending. Bogusław Padzyk, a Polish mayor general, has stated that Poland does not need to spend $10 billion on nearly 500 HIMARS systems. In its war, Ukraine has so far made do with only 18, so 100 units may be more in line with Poland's actual needs. The same principle applies to...
I think in a sense of... I think it's more of a deterrence. Because if you're struggling with 18 in the Ukraine, and they're making do with that, imagine going up against 500 of them. So I think it's more of a deterrence rather than we need this amount. But yeah, like this is gonna deter you from trying to come at us.
Other military procurements mentioned earlier. Some analysts, however, argue that ahead of the November 2023 elections, the government's spending plan owes more to electoral strategy than Poland's defense needs. Security policy is often a vote grabber in wartime, and emphasis on the scale of Poland's military ambitions seek to drown out concerns over the opacity of the defense contracts or the fact that even Warsaw's pre-existing plans have struggled to raise finance through bond sales. Poland's emphasis on American collaboration could also undermine its ability to exercise military power independently. This reality is amplified by the presence of 10,000 American troops on Polish territory, a number set to increase in the near future. Though interoperability may serve Poland's proximate defense needs, military cooperation and arms sales can create lopsided dependencies. Put simply, great powers do not host the military bases of other great powers, nor depend on them for defense. You can't really be a powerhouse when you play host to others. Finally, Poland's close relationship with the United States is at odds with France's goal for strategic autonomy. The French want to maintain a sense of geopolitical equilibrium between North America and Europe. So Poland moving further into the American camp creates dissent within the European bloc, particularly with France. Poland, however, may not have that many options. Its flat geography makes it susceptible to physical encroachments. Facing
I don't see why Poland. I think that relationship with the U.S. would absolutely benefit Poland in the sense of and I know they're already a NATO member anyway, so the U.S. would come to their defense. But creating a better relationship with Poland in the terms of Russia wanting to attack Poland, I think that's an incredible relationship to have. I can understand France's standpoint of wanting to have strategic autonomy in certain things, and I get it. Like, I feel like every country will want strategic autonomy, but not every country has the option to have strategic autonomy. And so I can understand France's frustration, but at the same time, I feel like they have to see that this is just the best option for Poland, and Poland should do what's best for Poland. And I feel like every country should do that. And so I guess Poland and the EU might not be in agreement on certain things, or countries within the EU might not be in agreement on certain things, but Poland is a part of the EU. At the end of the day, no matter how you slice it and dice it, Poland's a part of the EU.
Hostile Russia to the east, Polish lawmakers must leverage their ties with France and America to gain greater regional weight. Yet, any tilt at great power status must transcend American and French relationships in favor of greater self-sufficiency. And it is precisely this prospect that troubles friends and foes alike. Should Poland gain the hard power to match its independent strife, like Turkey in the last decade, it could quickly go from darling to pariah in the eyes of NATO. After all, even the devil was once an angel. I've been your host Shirvan from Caspian Report. For additional content and perks like PDF.
That was definitely a great report. And I understand Poland wanting to also like be able to defend yourself without having to depend upon your alliances and your partnerships, because you never know when things go south. At the end of the day, sometimes you're all you got. And so I understand them wanting to become the powerhouse that they're on track to becoming. It makes them powerful. And look where who they're bordering, and any conflict that comes into Europe most likely is going to come through that Poland border. So it makes sense. I think Europe should be excited for Poland becoming a powerhouse because of that reason. But let me know what you guys think about that. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Hit me in the comment section. Do you guys think Poland is spending too much on the defense budget? Do you guys think Poland spending is a good thing? And all of these things that Poland is getting will deter Russia from even wanting to attack? Do you think Russia would even want to attack if they were to successfully invade Ukraine and take over? Would they even want to attack Poland? I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's all we have for this one. If you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, check out the next one. I'll see you guys next time.